Now we will move to item 11, which we're going to put in right after the public hearing, and that is to receive the annual report from the Parks and Recreation Commission.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, City Council, my name is Stephen Marshall and I'm the current chairperson of the Park and Rec Commission. In the slide to your left, you'll see a photo of all the commissioners, many of whom are here: Tom Lara, Lucy Zamatia, Dave Nigel, Greg Pierce, Mike Palmer. Also here, and someone who we'd like to especially recognize, is Lori Greenberg. She was the commissioner chair 2010-2011. Not here, but we'd also like to recognize Sierra Bauer. She's, for the last 3 years, been serving as our youth commissioner. So one of last year's projects was to work with the Culture and Arts Commission to select a sculpture for placement in the city park near the rec center. We reviewed work from several artists, created a story pole display, and selected a piece on site and made our joint recommendation to City Council. We still need to work with the Culture and Arts Commission on the specific plaque design, and we look forward to unveiling the upcoming results. On the next slide, you'll see the Commission also collaborated with the Senior Advisory Board in the past year to establish guidelines that would allow for renters of the Senior Center to be able to use the kitchen while still keeping the equipment in proper working order for the other senior programs. The policy adopted by the City Council and now in place will generate new additional revenues for the city. This year's inspection of parks and recreation facilities focused on all features in and around the city park. This included a walking tour of the Senior Center, Beckner Shelter, 3 ball diamonds, the picnic areas, swimming pool, rec center, tennis courts, and the concession stand. We found the facilities to be in good shape and specifically noted the improvements to the swimming pool, newly resurfaced tennis courts, and the excellent condition of all the fields. One city park improvement that the Commission recommended to staff was to make safety improvements to the intersection in front of the rec center. During last year's paving project, the placards were removed and not put back into place. This has been corrected, but the Commission is still very concerned about cars not being able to see small children stepping onto the street, heading for the park and playground, because cars are frequently parked in the yellow zone. As you can see in this photograph, community service staff worked with the traffic engineer to develop a plan to switch the yellow and blue zones in front of the rec center so there's less cars obstructing the view of pedestrians walking across the street. This work has been completed, and we thank staff for their efforts.
Sorry, I don't have a slide.
Oh, way to go.
You can just visualize.
City Park
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah.
The top one?
Yeah.
Top right.
Okay.
All right, your left.
I can only do so much right now. The other large facility project that the Commission has worked on and will continue to monitor is the Lions Field project. As the City Council is aware, adding a synthetic grass surface to Lions Field will greatly allow for year-round use, increase our revenues, and decrease our maintenance costs. Our Commission has conducted several meetings with field users and will continue to work on the fundraising for this project. In addition to reviewing parks and recreation facilities, our Commission also regularly reviews local programs. There have been several improvements to our youth sports programs over the past year, including the city's operation of middle school sports program and allowing practices for after-school elementary sports teams to be held on school campuses. These changes have resulted in an increased number of participants in these programs and freed up gym time at the city park. That has brought new revenues which also brought new revenues through rentals to St. Robert's and Highlands Christian School. San Mateo High School Union High School District's determination that Crestmore High property is surplus to the educational needs of the district threatens the community's long-term use of the school's fields. Many of our commissioners were present at the district's hearings, and Commissioner Pierce, chair of our athletic field committee, has met on several occasions with the superintendent to remind him of the importance of this asset to the San Bruno community. During our reviews of recreation, finance, and participation reports, we are pleased to see that staff has been able to continually increase both program participation and cost recovery. Over the past 2 years, recreation programs have grown in popularity, revenues are at an all-time high, and expenses have dropped, and the division has used over $375,000 less from the general fund. As this table shows, the cost recovery rate has increased dramatically, and the Recreation Division is now over 70% self-sustaining. We had an opportunity to host the new City Attorney, Mark Zaffarano, at one of our meetings this year, and received updated information on the Brown Act, public meeting laws, conflicts of interest, and the Public Records Act. We also developed a commission handbook that will give both new and continuing members of the commission information that includes commission bylaws, city parks ordinances, Brown Act information, tips for working with other commissioners, council members, staff, and public, a commission calendar, and general guidelines. We think this information would be of help to many other commissions and boards in the city and would recommend that the city conduct a commissioners training workshop. So for the upcoming year, the commission has identified 5 goals. First one is to assist where needed with the completion of the donor recognition sculpture, such as the selection of plaques, inspection of Catalpa Park, Herman Park, Lamita Park, Crestmore High School fields, and Parkside Intermediate Schools, assist with the fundraising efforts to Lions Field, and to help rebuild Earl and Glenview Park. That's only 4 goals.
The fifth one we had
The
was
fifth
the
one-
intersection, which has now been
The
completed.
5th one was the intersection which we completed, as
Sorry.
already said.
We've heard.
So if we can be of any further assistance, please let us know, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Just a comment, as I say to all the commissioners and boards and committees, we couldn't do it without you. This is all volunteer stuff, and it sounds like you've been very, very, very busy this last year, and you have some busy stuff ahead of you too. We look forward to working with you on the Lions Field situation. That would be a great plus for our city and the sports programs. It's just a matter of, like anything else nowadays, the funding. And I know you're working on some grants, and Randy's been working on that too. So that's good. We're looking forward to the sculpture finally at City Park and all the other efforts that you've made. So, congratulations. It's good stuff. And this city has always been very tight, but this last year, with efforts of everybody, has really shown, who we really are. So thank you very much, all of you. Any other questions for Mr. Marshall? Comments?
To the chair, real quick, Chair Marshall, maybe the council could receive a copy of that handbook. There's that one section about interacting with council. I might learn something. So, but maybe we can each have a copy of that for our
wrote
review.
that section.
Did you?
I'll be very interested to read that a couple times now.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Thank you
Just
very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much.